Which vehicles ranked rock bottom for reliability for 2025? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. Consumer Reports recently released their annual reliability study, and I'm going to share which specific models received the absolute lowest rankings that were ranked rock bottom for reliability, which owners have had non-stop problems with. And then after, we'll see which vehicles got near perfect scores that are the best ones that you can buy. But first, let's begin with the junk, starting with the most unreliable luxury SUV from the survey, which is the Cadillac Lyriq. This vehicle received an abysmal score of only 5 points out of 100 for reliability. Consumer Reports has a set of criteria for different areas of reliability, from the engine to the transmission, electronics, and so on, each of which has their own points, which add up to a score of 100. And in this case, the Lyriq only received a 5. The biggest problems reported with this vehicle are the electronics, the electronic accessories, EV battery malfunctions, or complete battery failure. Not too surprised by this one. GM tends to build low-quality vehicles, and they rarely get things right when they introduce all new technology, especially EV tech. It will likely take another year or two before GM sorts out the bugs with this new vehicle. And next up, we have the most unreliable small SUV of the survey, which is the Volkswagen Taos. Consumer Reports gave this one a score of 24 out of 100. The biggest problems with this one are the engine and electronics, and I can't say I'm really surprised. I've consistently ranked the Taos as easily one of the worst small SUVs out there, with poor reliability, tons of engine and transmission complaints. It's just a total mess that's best to avoid. And Volkswagen also takes the honor of having the most unreliable sedan of the survey, with the Volkswagen Jetta. This model scored 25 out of 100, with similar reported problems as the Taos. Makes sense, given that both are mechanically very similar. I don't understand why consumers really buy these. There's really nothing special about these models. They're just average vehicles with worse reliability and higher repair costs than their Japanese equivalents, which is why I just recommend avoiding them. And as for mid-sized SUVs, this one came as a bit of a surprise because it's the Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid. Consumer Reports gave this model a score of only 15 out of 100. The complaints include the transmission, suspension, electronics, and battery. I admit I was a bit surprised to see this one ranked this low, but the CX-90 was an entirely brand new model for 2024. And as mentioned, most companies can have problems when they introduce brand new vehicles that have brand new technology, even historically reliable brands like Mazda, which is why it's always best to wait a year or two for all the bugs to get sorted out before you take a chance on a brand new vehicle. And now for the truck category, the pickup truck which received the lowest reliability score is the Ford F-150 Hybrid. This one received a score of only 7 out of 100. Pretty dismal, and it has received a rock bottom rating for 3 years straight now. The major problems with this one include the battery, hybrid drive system, the transmission, and electronics. The F-150 is a nice truck, but if you want the best shot at avoiding headaches, just stick with the regular V8 engine and avoid the Power Boost hybrid. And now for the vehicle that had the worst overall rating, which also happens to be the worst electric vehicle of the entire survey, and that vehicle is the Chevrolet Blazer EV. This one only scored 5 points out of 100, which is really no surprise. The Blazer EV was a new electric model for 2024 and had a terrible market launch with tons of electronic problems that were so severe that GM actually had to stop selling them to sort out all the issues. In fact, electric vehicles in general were the real losers of the survey this year. Many of them received poor reliability scores, including the popular models from brands including Hyundai, Kia, Ford, General Motors, Tesla, and Audi. The company Rivian, which only makes electric vehicles, was the worst rated brand of the entire survey, with their only 2 models receiving a score of 20 out of 100 and 9 out of 100 for reliability. It is important to mention, however, that Consumer Reports did not have enough data to rank many big brands this year, including Jaguar Land Rover, Mercedes-Benz, and a few others. Had these brands been included, it's very likely that many of them would have had a spot on this list. Now that we have those vehicles out of the way, let's see which vehicles received a near perfect score for reliability. The first one on the list is one of the very few electric vehicles that received an exceptional score, and that vehicle is the BMW i4. This one received a score of 82 out of 100 with very few reliability complaints. The i4 is basically the electric version of the BMW 4 Series, and it is a very well-designed vehicle. On the other hand, however, it is a BMW which tend to be a little bit spotty when it comes to reliability, and this is a brand new model, so time will tell whether it will still be as reliable after a few more years. As for the most reliable luxury vehicle overall, well, that one is really not much of a surprise because it's the Lexus NX. The NX, including both the hybrid and plug-in hybrid versions, received a reliability score of 77 out of 100. In fact, the entire Lexus brand performed extremely well on the reliability survey. So if you want a well-made, reliable luxury vehicle, Lexus is still the go-to choice. And when it comes to SUVs, the hybrid SUV which received the highest reliability score is the Toyota RAV4. The RAV4 hybrid and RAV4 plug-in hybrid received exceptional scores, 84 and 86 out of 100. Again, this one's really not much of a surprise. The RAV4 has historically always been one of the safest, most reliable small SUVs that you can buy. It's extremely well made, fuel efficient, has very few repair concerns, and in the long run has very high resale value. So if you want one of the safest, small SUV options, whether it's a hybrid or even a plug-in hybrid, the RAV4 is the go-to choice. And as for sedans, the sedan that received the highest reliability rating is the Toyota Corolla. The Corolla received a reliability score of 84 out of 100, which is exceptional. And again, this includes both the regular Corolla and the Corolla hybrid. Either way, you really cannot go wrong with this model. It's extremely well made, has very few repair concerns, very few complaints, and like the RAV4, has exceptional resale value, making it an incredible buy as far as value for money is concerned. So if you just want a no-nonsense, well-made, small affordable car, the Corolla continues to be the go-to choice. Although the Corolla scored really well for the sedan category, there was a hatchback which received an even higher score in the survey, and that vehicle is the Subaru Impreza. The Impreza scored 89 out of 100 for reliability, which is quite incredible. Interestingly, it even scored higher than the crossover version, which is mechanically identical, the Subaru Crosstrek, making it one of the most reliable Subarus of the year. Again, very much like the Corolla, you really can't go wrong choosing the Subaru Impreza. It's an extremely well-made, excellent car to buy, and offers tremendous value for the money, especially if you're looking for a small affordable car that comes standard with all-wheel drive. If that's what you're looking for, this really is the go-to choice. And now for the most reliable vehicle of the entire Consumer Report study, which happens to also be the most reliable small SUV of the year, and that vehicle is the Subaru Forester. Incredibly, the Forester received a score of 98 out of 100. A nearly perfect score for reliability, which means that there was basically no complaints with this vehicle. The Forester is definitely one of the safest choices you can go for if you want a no-nonsense, headache-free small SUV. It's extremely well made, has very few repair concerns, and like the Impreza, has one of the best all-wheel drive systems available. And given that there will be a hybrid version hitting the market later in 2025, Well, that should make it an even more compelling option. Watch out Toyota RAV4 because you have some heavy competition coming your way. As far as which particular brands had the highest reliability ratings this year, those would be Mazda, Acura, Honda, Toyota, Lexus, and in the number one place, Subaru. And as for the lowest rated brands, those would be Volkswagen, Jeep, GMC, Cadillac, and in the worst spot, Rivian. So some definitely interesting data to consider. Now, if you own any of these particular vehicles, what has your ownership experience been like? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at my other videos by clicking the links in the corner. You can follow me on Instagram, and if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to visit carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.